Hi, my name is Phil Leach. I'm the director of the U of N Extension Studies Centre, and in this informal video I'd like to talk through how to register an Extension Studies course. Now, towards the end I would also talk about the added element for online Extension Studies courses, but we will begin with our regular Extension Studies course. So I'm assuming at this point you have already developed your course. You're very clear about your audience and your learning outcomes. You'll notice we think of outcomes in the areas of attitudes or character, knowledge and skill. And you've also thought through how you're going to evaluate your students to know whether they've reached that particular set of outcomes that you have for the course. So assuming that that's all done, we can get on with the process of registering the course. Firstly, you would need to go to your campus or base operating location web app. The URL for that is appufn.edu, and you put in your username and password. Now, if you don't have access to this, you need to talk to your training director, your base leader, or if they're not sure, to contact the local regional U of N registrar. That is the registrar for your area. You need to have the permissions to be able to register a course. So you log in, and then you will come to the instances screen. The screen before you is that of the location I'm connected to, the King's Lodge in the Midlands of England. You'll see the different courses that are there. But what we want to do is to go to the registrations. That's what we're doing. So you click on the registrations option at the top, and you come to the registrations screen, and then you click on new registration. You will then come to three options, and we want the one on the right, registering a brand new course. If you are re-registering an Extension Studies course, then you would click on the option on the left, and if you do that, then you probably don't need to see this video because you've already registered a course. But thinking that this is a brand new course, assuming that, click on the option on the right, and it will then give you four options. The two on the left are for the regular U of N courses. Our interest in this video is the third one, Extension Studies. And just take time as you go through to read the different notes that are supplied. These are really helpful. Extension Studies is based around focused learning activities. This is the key phrase, and each 25 hours equals 1 credit. So in Extension Studies, we don't think of weeks like the full learning week, but rather hours of focused learning activities. If you are registering an online Extension Studies course, then you would click the button on the right, and at the end of this video I will talk about the extras that are needed for that. Otherwise, online Extension Studies registration is exactly the same as the Extension Studies. So click on the Extension Studies option, and you then get the important element of naming your course. You see I've called this, for the sake of this video, Test ES Course, Jan 2018. You would put the name of your course in there, and then you would click the Add New Course Registration button to the bottom right. And then you come to this overview screen. It's like a dashboard, and it gives you the progress of your registration. Do notice that the registration status bar has an orange line that shows that that's incomplete, and then you'll see the options going through to pending submission by a base leader and then review by center staff. So we get underway by clicking on the basic information option, and you simply go through and fill out these different fields. Most of them are self-explanatory. So you have the language, choose your language, the language of your course. It's already connected to the college. You'll see the cost there. You put in the cost per student of your course, and then the course level. Now the 100 level is the introduction level to any particular subject or course. The 200 level is just above that. The 300 level is the undergraduate level. The 400, 500, etc. postgraduate level. The level of your course will be determined by your target audience. Who is it that you're trying to reach? What is the level of your particular content? So you choose the level of your course, you choose the tags. These are identification words or phrases that would sum up your course connected to search engines. And then this option is a very important option. Is this course taking place at a different location than the registering base? The reason this is important is because of the cost of the course. If, for example, you are registering the course in a first world nation, but the course is actually going to be held in a nation in the developing world, when you come to register the students to print off their certificates, then the cost will be related to the developing world. That is where you actually ran the course. So if the course is taking place at a different location, then you click this button and you will be able to fill out the place where it is actually being held. Start date and end date is very straightforward. You would fill in those dates. For an online course, then these do not need to be filled in. They're not mandatory because often the online course may start at different times. You would fill in those dates later. You then choose the leader of the course, and if this is you, then you should find your name there. If your name isn't there, you can add it. And so you would click on this particular option. You would fill in the details of the leader of the course. You would click add, and then you would then be in the system. You do then put your experience that has led you to be able to run this course. This is something that those of us evaluating the course, we want to know that you have the ability, the experience to be able to lead the course well. And then if you want to upload some supporting documents, this is the place to do it. You may have done a lot of work in preparing the course with a lot of outcomes and details, and if you want to submit that to, you click the browse button, go to the location on your computer where the documents are, and then you can upload them. You then click the save button there, just down to the right, very important. Just an example here so you can see how this has been filled out before. Lossalini from Fiji, she registered a teacher aid training seminar, did a great job in this registration, and as I use this course as an example, you can stop the video if you want and read exactly what she's put. So you'll see that she has filled out all of these fields, the tags, course leader, experience that has led her to be able to run the course. And so, as I said, you come back now having completed this particular set of values here, these different fields. You click the Save button, and when you've saved, you then click the Overview button there on the left, and it takes you back to this overview screen. You'll notice that the button to the left of Basic Information is green. That tells you you completed that particular set of information. You can then move to the objectives. As you click on this, you'll find that the title of each of these particular fields is very informative with the information above. Read through and fill these out. The overall objectives of the course, your reasons for running and how it contributes to the overall goals and objectives of YWAM, Christian formation, how your course is going to facilitate students growing as disciples of Jesus. Intended audience, who is it you're running the course for? And the format, is it weekends, is it evenings, is it once a month? What is the format of your course? And how does your course come in line with YWAM values? Now there is a link there to take you to the values, but we're not here wanting you to simply reproduce the values, but rather give an example of some of the values and how your course connects to the values we have as Youth with a Mission. Examples from the Teacher Aid Training Seminar here, where it's all been filled out really well, and you can take a note to read those if you would like. But then back to the Save button. Save your work, click the Overview option, and then it takes you back to the Overview screen, and you'll notice the button to the left of Objectives is now green, and we can come to Outcomes. Now, when it comes to outcomes, notice that we're wanting here what you desire the outcomes to be at the end of the course. This is not the place to put in your detailed outcomes for the different topics and subjects you're teaching, but rather at the end of the course, what is it you want your student to look like and to leave the course with? And so, very simple. It's in the three areas of knowledge, skill and attitude. At one time we used to talk about character. Character is really quite difficult to ascertain. Attitude is more tangible. So we have these three different areas. You name that particular outcome, and then you give a description of what it is you're wanting to achieve. And so when you have done that, you save that, and then click on another one of these outcomes, and so you work your way through. Here is an example of the skill outcome and an attitude outcome, and you can look at these if this is going to be helpful. And so remember to save this when you've completed it. Back to the Overview button, and you'll notice the little dot is green on the left of Outcomes, and so we now come to Topics and Activities. This is where the heart of what it is you want to teach is recorded, and we will especially as evaluators be looking to see what you put here. Please notice that it has to do with the hours of a particular topic. We're looking for those learning outcomes, the particular elements of content, and we would not expect it to be more than 5 to 7 hours for each topic. Occasionally it may be more if it's a book report and the book is large, and then it may take 7 hours or more just to read it, and then of course the report comes. So occasionally it may be more, but we're looking for the course to be broken down into these elements so that we as evaluators are able to get a good handle on what it is that you're teaching and the different topics that are being presented. There needs to be at least the topics adding up to a total of 25 hours, because 25 hours of learning activities equals 1 credit. And so you work your way through with the topic name and then the format of the activity of that particular learning exercise. This is a drop-down list. You choose whether it's a lecture, teaching, and there's a number of other options there. Also the format of this topic. Is it going to be in a classroom or a group or some other format? Again, there's a drop-down list for you to choose from. And then the outcomes, topic outcomes. You'll notice that outcomes comes before content, and that is we start at the end. We decide what we want our students to learn, what the outcome should be, and then we come back and talk about the content. So what is the actual content of this particular topic? Who are the teachers going to be? And if the teacher isn't already registered, you add a teacher. You can put the name of the teacher and the details of the teacher, and you click the save. Then the teacher is added. Resource materials. Are you going to be using any objects or a PowerPoint, or what is it that you're going to use as a resource? And then how many hours for that particular topic. You'll see here in the Teacher Aid training seminar the number of topics there, and we can click on one and you'll see how these have been filled out with the different teachers, resource materials, content, and then the number of hours. Another example there, learning character and nature of God in education. Again, you'll see the format of activities, lecture, small group. The format is in the classroom, group, and in person, and so on and so forth. So you can see the teachers there, 2 teachers for this particular topic, and it's 5.5 hours. So back to the screen here, you click the save button and go to the overview button, and you'll notice, having filled these out, the button is green next to topics and activities, and we can go to the evaluation. When it comes to evaluation, again, you should have needed to have thought this through. How are you going to evaluate the student? And the point is to know how the student is learning the content that you have for them. So you would give us an outline of how you are going to evaluate your student, but then how are you going to evaluate the course and its effectiveness? What do you have in place for that? And then how are you going to get feedback from the student at the end of the course? So you have an opportunity to evaluate it and to see how you can grow in the course if you should hopefully want to present it again. An example here of the Teacher Aid training seminar, the different elements there for student evaluation, course evaluation, and student feedback. So we save again, and back to the overview, and then you get the famous moustache. You'll notice that the course is waiting to be submitted, and as you scroll down this screen, if you want to, just to say when you've completed this, you can print the course details just to draw that out to you. But as you scroll down the screen, you then choose a person from your training team, your leadership team, your base leader at your location that will approve the course. Now, for the sake of this video, I put my name there, and then as a course creator, course registrar, you click the button to certify that what you put is true to the best of your knowledge. You write your name by way of a signature, and then you submit the course. You'll notice at the bottom there that all of the different buttons are green because all of these have been filled out and ready to be submitted. So you'll notice also that the line is green next to the course registration submitted. The course is now submitted. That's green. You've done everything that you need to do, and it's waiting for the approval of your base leadership. Now what will happen is they will receive a letter, an email like this, explaining that a course has been submitted. They would need to click on the link, and as they click on that link, it will take them to this screen in the web app. They will then give their recommendation of the course leader, their endorsement of the course leader. They will click the certify statement button, write their name, and then they would submit the course for registration. If when they've done that, you go to your web app, you will go to the registrations screen, and you'll notice there that there's the course is pending review by the U of N. And what that means is it has come to the centre, Extension Studies Centre. Our registrar will check it. If there's any questions, they will come back to you on that. Otherwise, they will create the approval path. You'll notice on the screen that the course has been registered. That's green. The base leader has been approved. That's green, and all of the dots are green. The only thing now is waiting for it to be approved by the college, or in this case, the Extension Studies Centre, right here. When it has gone through that and the approval has been granted, you will get this email to say that the course has been approved to run. There's no action on your part. This is just an information email about your course. Now, there is going to be another video that will explain how to register your students, how to pay, and how to print the certificates. So you can look for that. But for those who are registering an online Extension Studies course, there are some extra fields. So if you're not, you can stop here. But if you are registering an online Extension Studies course, you will want to keep watching just for a few more minutes. So as I said earlier, you would click the screen here, the option, should I say, on the right, and you'll notice that on the overview screen there's just one added option here, the online details. So if you click on that option as you're working through your registration, you will come to these different fields that need to be completed. As it's an online course, we'd like to know the location of your course, your content management system. and if you was to fill in the URL, but also the log-on access details. This is so that we as course evaluators can log on to your online course and have a look at what you have there, the material, how it's presented, and to get a feel of what it is that you're doing with your online course. We are not going to give accreditation to what are called MOOCs, that is these massive open online courses, whereby it's very impersonal. We want there to be community created between us online students. So here you would write how you're planning to do that, and similarly how your staff and students are going to interact, how there's going to be a connection between your staff and students, and then what accountability do you have for your students as they engage in your online course. This is a really important element for the success of online learning. But one of the elements that's always a danger, whether the course is online or in a classroom, and that is plagiarism. Plagiarism is when a student presents work as their own that is not their own. They may have copied it from someone else, downloaded it from the internet, and so this is always a danger, but it can be especially a danger in the online environment. So what is it that you've set in place against plagiarism? And so these are just a few extra questions for those in the online course environment.